So Rads, exciting times for the housing sector. What does that mean from a digital perspective?
Exciting times indeed, Paul. Increased investment coming into the sector, which opens up opportunities around digital tools and technologies. The key decision makers in housing associations are increasingly more and more aware of the opportunities that digital transformation offers their sector as a whole and their residents. They're also looking at the opportunities of using technology to fulfill the increased compliance requirements that are now set for housing associations. They are more and more aware of the security challenges that they have and how they can face those, but balancing that alongside the workforce productivity and the experience. Ultimately, supporting housing associations achieve their own corporate responsibilities and objectives, and ensuring that every tenant under their care is really looked after and they support them in every possible way. So Paul, customer experience is obviously very important in the housing sector. How do you think digital workspace can help with it?
Well, I think digital workspace can enable a great customer interaction, a quality first customer interaction, and see that through right to fulfillment. It's important whether that first contact comes from a digital channel or whether it's coming through the contact centre. Having a seamless integration of those technologies is really important to glue together that customer journey. So we see a lot now with AI-enabled contact centres, web assistants, chatbots. These can really help both increase the quality of the interaction and the service to the customer, but also help from an operational excellence and efficiency point of view. And that journey continues through to fulfillment, starting with the first interaction, but right through to field engineering, field repairs, preventative maintenance. So the technology, the devices are important, accessing the data at source, inputting the data at source to increase accuracy and quality, so important as the customer journey continues.
I agree, Paul, and really more than ever before now, the technology allows an organization to make sure all its services are digitally inclusive and that they also cater for various requirements and needs of various staff groups, ensuring that services are accessible to everybody.
It's so important, Rads, and it's becoming increasingly important. I think from a device perspective, the newer devices are more accessible, and getting that digital experience right is really key for accessibility, particularly across your workforce. But also from a contact centre perspective, the technology's there now to help with things like translation, and the sector is dealing with increasingly diverse boroughs, so that's really important.
So Paul, how can these new technologies help with operational delivery and productivity?
So if we think about the way that data is being used in the sector, if we think about digital twins, the way they're being used particularly in the building and construction industry, right through the chain from the start with the customer to fulfillment through in the field. Also, the way those devices are being managed and monitored, really, really important, how they're secured, and making sure that security doesn't get in the way of productivity.
Whilst all of this is really good, Paul, but we of course know that whenever you implement technology, you also have to balance that with the risks that come from implementing that same technology. Particularly in housing, for example, security has been quite a growing concern, particularly because housing associations cater for such vulnerable individuals. But what might be other risks that a housing association would have to think about?
Yeah, so great point, Rads. And I think if we start with devices, devices now are sitting outside of those traditional workplace boundaries. They're sitting through the borough, through the region, people working from home. How they're secured is really important, and we've talked about security not being in the way of productivity. Any downtime in that chain as well, it's disastrous for the customer experience. So making sure that they are maintained and monitored in the right ways is absolutely key. But if we take it back to the start of the customer journey, it's also really important from a continuity perspective to look at the contact centre and those digital front door channels, making sure that the way those systems and technology is architected and set up is in line with risk mitigation and making sure that there's a quality, continuous experience for the customer.
Thanks, Paul. To summarize, what we are saying really is that if you have well looked after staff, enabled with the right digital technologies and tools, ensuring that any work that they do is in a secure and sustainable environment, ultimately it will lead housing associations to look after their tenants and residents in the best possible way.
And create great outcomes.